All right, folks, Vitek here from Metal Wani, and with us today we have one and only Andreas Kisser of Sepultura. How are you doing, brother?
All good, man. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
Machine Messiah, 2017 is going to start with this, banger of an album. It took you a while till, you guys started writing, and now the release period is about 3 years in the making. How's the band feeling with the new record coming out?
We feel great, man. We're so happy with the result. So far, the response has been very positive. Really excited and anxious, to the album to come out. We did the 3 years of touring everywhere, promoting, the mediator between head and hands must be the heart, our last album that came out at the end of 2013. Also celebrating 30 years of Sepultura, which was so fantastic, to go everywhere. And we collect, of course, new experiences, going to many different places, countries for the first time like Georgia and Armenia, always bring new ideas and new elements, for our music. So we felt ready to record a new one. We went to Sweden to record with Jens Bogren, also a new producer with a new perspective on the Sepultura's music, which brought like new elements, new ideas, new possibilities, and like I said, very happy with the sound, with the composition and the cover, the artwork and everything, so really excited about.
That's good to hear because the album feels more like a Sepultura's journey post the root section. I mean, there's a lot of grooves in there, a lot of thrashy parts. The every essence of the Sepultura sound is there. And you were talking about the 30th anniversary. You guys toured a lot. And was it something, you guys have developed, especially you being the mastermind of the band over the last 2 decades, you have evolved a lot. So when you look back at the Sepultura sound in the early 90s as compared to now, how do you feel about the journey and how evolved you guys have been since then?
We feel great, man. I think it's the best momentum for Sepultura. I think in our career, we have an amazing label, great lineup. All the structure from Sepultura really flowing amazingly. We could focus on the music only, and not only and not in other bureaucratic bullshit. I mean, music business is there, you have to deal with it and stuff, but we are in a condition to deal with that with no harm to our practice room, in our rehearsal room, so we could really focus and write with all the good spirits, and we enjoyed a lot the whole process. I think it feels like a new chapter in our career, a new beginning. Celebrating 30 years, we played old stuff, we remember so many different things, recollection of memories, and playing music that we didn't play for so many years. It felt like a wrap up of a part of our history. And it feels now that we were ready to go to different places and try out new things to start this new era of Sepultura, let's say. So it's very motivated. We felt very motivated to be in a situation like that. So yeah, I think the Machine Messiah music and lyric and everything, it's a consequence of that. Of that feeling of something is done. The job is done up to this point. We feel great. Everything is in place, and now we go to this new level of our career. And we feel ready. We feel ready to enjoy. We are enjoying a lot. The whole recording process, going to Sweden, Jens Bogren, Camille de la Rosa, who had the cover ready for us, since 2010, and she didn't knew, and neither do I. But I'm glad I found her and everything. So it's something very, for a band that is 32 years old, to have a momentum like that, it's a privilege, to feel so energized and excited and anxious about, so it feels great. I mean, we work hard, to be in a position like this today, and it's great to listen to the whole album, the whole sequence and stuff. It feels we are in the right place at the right moment.
Absolutely. The thing about the record is, even though it's not on a concept on a grand scale, but still the songs are connected. I mean, the way
Yeah.
Phantom Self goes to Alethea, or Silent Boils go to Vandals and Cyber God. It seems like a well structured, order from the beginning till the end, and you start with the title track, and which is not an in your face track, but instead there are a lot of unique twists there. It's more like a lot of melodies, and the instrument focused nature of the tracks makes it even more interesting. So for you, when you guys were sorting out the list and how you want songs to be arranged, what was the main focus on this? Was it just on the brutality side, or let's keep the balance of the Sepultura sound?
I think balance is always good, especially in an album like this. And yes, I mean, we wrote the album thinking about this, vinyl format. We wrote thinking about the first song, and then which song should close the side A, and we wrote a specific song to open side B, which is Swan Oath, which is very epic with lots of traditional metal elements, with that ending like a live show and everything. So we really thought about every little detail, and very early on the process of writing, I already had the name, Machine Messiah, and then the overall concept, the direction we want to follow. We knew we want to work with Jens Bogren and everything, so and the concept of the album is the magic of it all. It's like when you listen songs 1 to 10, you go through a journey. And Machine Messiah opening the album, it's a very different song for Sepultura, very melodic,
Exactly.
very slow but intense and tense, and it is kind of like a long intro, to create a certain type of expectation and for what's coming next, which is great. I think that's what the intro is supposed to be. That's the intermission, to really to create that kind of expectation, at the same time give some hints of what's coming next. So and every song was really, it is have like a strong identity, each song. It's very unique each other, from each other, and at the same time they feed from each other. I think it makes sense to listen to the album, not only one track here and there. I think it really it brings that type of the old school, listening to the vinyl, really,
Right.
when you put the vinyl there for the first time and you see the big cover there, you pay attention to all the details while you listen to the music, and that's the magic of it all. That's why we're here. I think I did that when I was younger, listen to my idols and stuff, who made me want to play guitar and be a musician,
Right.
that magic, which is we kind of losing today with, you see these big pop artists and these divas and stuff releasing singles, and, it kills all the magic, you robotized art and music doing stuff like that, and I'm really glad the metal world still have that tradition, and we like to keep that tradition as well, and doing so, it helped us a lot really to create every song and to write every song, and at the same time think about all this running order, and to keep and create that atmosphere of a journey.
Absolutely, and wonderful to see you guys using orchestration on this record. I mean, the way the Phantom Self. In fact, you guys released the music video, I think, earlier today, and then
Yeah.
you have, the way you guys have, brought in orchestrations, which doesn't feel like a filler. Instead, it's part of this entire journey. It kind of feels like, you had this in your mind as you were writing the song, that orchestration has to be present on this record, and then you've framed your solos as well based on how they play. So it's something that's been in your
Yeah.
mind for a while. So what was that sort of an inspiration that came in from you to kind of bring in the orchestration on this record?
Well, actually, some songs, especially Swan Oath, we wrote thinking about that type of epic atmosphere and sound,
Hmm.
But the strings, I had the idea to bring the brass section, the horns and everything, some keyboards here and there. But the violins from Tunisia was something that Jens Bogren brought, in let's say in the later process. We were already working the pre-production here in Brazil, and we like to make as complete as we can but we always leave room, for improvisation, and of course for the input from the producer, And Jens brought the idea to introduce the violins from Tunisia because he worked with this orchestra before, and and when the guy wrote all the possibilities and the mock-ups and everything, I was blown away because it felt like, as you said, as a part of the song already, and it opened a lot of new possibilities for my guitar playing and for the lead guitars, the conversation between guitars and violins, it was done right there, in the studio with us, and, me and Jens, really building that from scratch, so it was a mixture of both, that type of intention, to have that kind of orchestral intention, even though we were not using the instruments, and then Jens feeling that and putting, his suggestions, maybe we could use here or there and stuff, and we always like to keep our options open, especially when we are in the studio working at the moment, where we're going to put the final decision there, so it was an amazing and enjoyable work, It was we had so much fun, Of course, at the same time, it was a very demanding album to record, but we prepare ourselves physically and mentally, to be there and to do the best that we could.
Absolutely. Now, talking about Jens, I mean, I heard the upcoming Creator record, now Sepultura record. He did Soilwork as well, so he's like everywhere. And the beauty of him is, for every band, he knows the sound, he keeps it, he just hones it and makes it better. And that, as a producer, is a wonderful achievement, instead of just changing their sound completely to kind of make it more like, relatable to the existing metal scene. Instead, he just focuses on the strength of the band and makes it even better. So for you, working with Jens must have been a wonderful achievement as compared to, let's say, working with Ross in the past or other producers, because Jens and the atmosphere in Sweden as well has got a very, strong connection in bringing out some heavy and brutality out of Sweden, isn't it?
No doubt about it, man. I mean, right on the spot. Jens is really a type of producer who respect that sound and stuff. And but for Sepultura, it's always interesting to go to different producers. Ross did an amazing job with us on the Mediator. We were in the Venice Beach, an amazing place at his home studio and everything. It was great for the stuff that we were doing there. But we wanted to challenge ourselves and really go to different places, work with different people, producers who have a different perspective of Sepultura's music, and really challenge ourselves to be better, to be better musicians. And the producer plays a big part on it, because he's the one who really gonna explore and really forced us really to be the best that we can, especially with singers. I mean, Derek Green did an amazing job on this album. I think his best performance by far. But I have to say that the job he did with Ross, we see the consequences now. Because Jens took that to a different level, to a new level. Mm-hmm. Because Ross working with singers is an amazing process. No singer is the same after working with Ross. Every singer that passed through Ross, you can ask, like Corey Taylor or even Max and Mike Patton, people that really work with Ross like that. You see that he really explore not only the technical physical abilities, but a lot the soul and heart and the meaning of things, how you should say or sing a word. And Jens is like that as well, and I think the combo for both, it made Derek what he is today, on this album. And yes, I mean, going to Sweden, in the summer, we could enjoy the environment and everything, and really focused 100% on the album and work as hard as we could, so and it is, like you said, Jens respects the sound of the band. That's why I think he was a choice for us. We talked to the guys from Moonspell, Opeth, and Creator, and Angra. We are friends with all of them, and all of them had really nice things to say about Jens and really great references, positive, references that we were sure that Jens could be, he was the guy for us for this project. And I mean, we're so happy with everything that happened. he recorded, mixed, and mastered everything in Sweden, and it sounds fucking amazing, so I'm very happy with everything.
Absolutely, and you're going on a Jens Bogren tour now with all these bands who are who
That's
are
true, yeah.
so that's a wonderful thing to have such a great bill in Europe, and obviously with Testament in the States. So
Yeah, I can't wait.
anything
It's gonna be
planned to Australia? Like anytime you'd be coming this side next year?
Well, so far nothing confirmed yet. We have both tours that you mentioned. Plus, the summer festivals in Europe. We are already like confirming some festivals here and there. More to come, and hopefully we'll have the chance by the second half of the year, or either early 2018, to go to Australia. But it's still part of the plan, and we are arranging all the calendar and dates and stuff. So hopefully soon we have some dates to be to announce. So
awesome. That's good to hear. And
it's open.
And how about is Sepultura something, or you in general, someone who doesn't care about doing this, these albums in its entirety, like Arise or Chaos AD or let's say Roots? Is that something in your mind you want to do it in the future with respect to revisiting the past and play it for your fans?
I don't know. We never had that intention. We never had that. That idea. It seems to me like a waste of time. It's not something that's going to bring anything new. To the table, or to our music. To our artistic challenges. So. We did like specific shows, like in Sao Paulo, for instance. We did the whole Owais album in a special show here, celebrating the anniversary of this very famous metal pub here in Sao Paulo. Mm-hmm. And on the other occasion, we did Chaos AD, in a different celebration. They have this series of shows of classic albums, and we did Sepultura was one of them, and did Chaos AD. So, but to do the entire tour, it's something that it doesn't make any sense, for us. I don't know about the future. Anything's possible, but I don't see us doing a tour. Special shows here and there. I think it's cool, I think it's worth it, and it's very special, very unique, few fans are there that are a part of this, and it keeps special like that, but we're very focused on what we're doing now, 2016, very much living the present, respecting our past, of course, it's a beautiful history, we wouldn't be here without all the stuff that we did, but I respect more the present than anything else, but in our concept, is something that we rather put our energy and time in something that we're working today.
Absolutely. If you had to pick one album, which of course you, Derek, everyone was like, let's go and play this album in its entirety, which one would it be? I know it's going to be difficult because it's all your babies, but if you got to pick up one, which one would it be?
Well, that depends on the situation. I think it would be cool to do Alex, for instance. It's like following the storyline and the movie and stuff. I think it would be fucking interesting to do something special like that. Or even Kairos is an album that it's very playable throughout the whole thing. It's something that also could be a possibility. But any album could be a possibility depending on the situation or the project. They're involved and stuff. So. But like I said, I don't see ourselves doing like a whole tour celebrating something like that. At least, it's coming something from us. It has to be a part of a certain special thing. But it's not something that we intend to do in the future as a plan. For the band.
Perfect, Andreas. Thanks a lot. You took some time today. It was great having a chat with you again. So if you had to sum up Machine Messiah in a sentence, what would you say?
Wow, hard to say. I think, Sepultura. I think it represents what Sepultura is today. It represents the whole spirit of Sepultura, regardless of the formation. We always had something new on every album. Every album brings something special and different in our career. Everyone is so important, for us to be here. And I think Machine Messiah is Sepultura. It's like I don't know how to define that better than that. I think.
Thanks a lot, Andreas. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll definitely catch you on road next year.
Great, sounds great, man. Happy holidays to all of you, and hopefully we see each other soon
Yep,
on the
you
road.
too as well.
And thanks for the support.
Take
Thank
care,
you very
brother.
much.
See you.
Bye bye.